Thank you.
Well, Stephen, thank you very much indeed, and thank you, everybody. So that now concludes the formal part of today's meeting. So we're all on time, so we'll crack straight on. We're going to move straight on to our first ever online edition of the Circuit. So the Circuit is our quarterly forum and networking event that brings creative people together to contribute to our region's ongoing cultural conversation. Now, normally these events take place at a range of venues across the region, where we hear from a guest artist or speaker, and then have the chance for discussion and networking over a glass of something and maybe something to eat. It's relaxed, informative, and fun. Today's event will obviously be a little bit different, as we are unable to meet as we normally would. But this afternoon, I can assure you, you're in for a real treat as we showcase some of the fantastic creative talents drawn from our own membership. We've got an exhibition showreel of artworks by some of our members. And then from Moffat, we have writer Gillian Mellor. She'll be followed by Moniai-based musician Stuart Macpherson. And to round things off, another Stuart Paterson, who lives in Kirkbean, will be sharing a performance film. The whole event's going to last about 45 minutes, so I do hope you can stay with us through to the end. So to start this edition of the Circuit, I'd like to offer a warm welcome to Dumfries and Galloway's very own Zoe Bestal from Wigton, who's hot-footed it from a recording session for Celtic Connections 2021 online festival. Zoe's ethereal voice and poignant melodies and lyrics have already brought her to the attention of music industry commentators. They have hailed her as one of Scotland's most exciting emerging musical talents. And of course, Zoe is a member of DGU. Zoe, you sang for us 6 years ago at our arts convention in Stranraer. How nice to have you back. Welcome.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's nice to be back. Also, can you hear me all right?
Just.
Okay, hang on 2 seconds. Hello, is that better? How you doing? The fun of doing your own sound. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, the first gig that I ever played, my proper gig, was at the Cat Strand, actually. So thank you. Cool. I will start off with one of my own songs. This is called Tale of the Sea. And it is a song about a siren that lures a ship onto the rocks. Thank you very much for having me, though. This is a bit bizarre, but really lovely. Cool. Sailing by moonlight, a ship rocked the waves of the dark sea. Though beware of thee. Chorus of voices so delicate, singing in harmony, proclaiming love for thee. Sailors who heard this were transfixed but drowned in their quest to see where this beauty rose from the depths with a vengeance for men that encountered the most beautiful daughter of point of wonder they'd fallen in love, this woman of the sea, and the slave she called Eve with no reason to stay. So she stole her away, broke her pact with the sea, for on land it would be. So they lived in the trees on a cliff, singing sweet melodies of their cares they'd set free, until one fateful night Eve was found by the ice, heart broken into three. The woman threw herself to the
That was beautiful, Zoe. Thank you so much. And I absolutely know if we were all in the room together, you'd be receiving rapturous
thank you.
applause. That was lovely. Tale of the Sea, what a beautiful, beautiful song. And with the wonders of Zoom, we could hear you perfectly. So just before you treat us to another performance, I thought we could have a wee chat, Zoe, and people can get to know you a little better. I know that you're very busy gigging and you're a recording musician, increasingly successful. How has this year and the pandemic that's been thrust upon us all, how has that changed your routine as a performing artist?
Oh, well, firstly, thank you, and thank you to all the comments that are coming in. That's really nice. Cool. Pandemic's definitely changed a lot. I think this was my Celtic Connections recording. You guys don't know about. Shh.
Okay, it's
I think it's announced next week, but I'm not sure. But that's the first time I've sung in front of people physically in about 11 months. So it's been quite difficult to be a performer, I guess, because that's such a big part of what I do, is that I get to interact with people in the flesh and kind of feel all the emotions that you feel with people when they're there. You get to really experience that. So I've been doing live streams though, which is very different. But I've really been enjoying those. They're every Wednesday, so they're tonight if you want to watch them.
I was actually going to ask you, I take it this time has also given you a chance and a space for creativity and to change the way you reach your audiences.
It really has been. It's been a fascinating time of it. It's been, I'm very grateful that I was already kind of adapting the way that I have a creative career, and that I was taking it online anyway. So I'd been in the process of creating a Patreon. I'm not quite sure whether people know about what Patreons are, but you basically, depending on what you choose, per month you can either donate a certain amount of money to the artist or per thing that they create. But I wanted to be a bit more controlling, so I built my own.
Quite right.
So
quite
yeah,
right.
I'm very lucky that I've been I've grown up around online businesses, so I managed to adapt to that. But so many other musicians and creatives haven't been able to do that, so I'm very lucky in that way. But yeah, it's been a learning process and a big learning curve. But
and an exciting one too, to transition online, digital streams of your music, live performances, live on Facebook. That all sounds really exciting. Have you been able to, as a result of that, reach a wider audience and have audience members that you maybe wouldn't normally have had?
Yeah, actually, that's a good question. Yeah, it's been really nice to perform to people that I wouldn't have been able to physically perform in front of for a long time. So I've got some fans that tune in from Hawaii. It's usually in the morning whenever they're watching it, but that's really cool. But yeah, I'll usually at the beginning of my streams I'll ask, where are you tuning in from and how's your day been? So yeah, it's a lovely thing to the internet.
Well, we wouldn't have been able to manage quite as well in this last year without it.
No,
So
definitely.
just before you treat us to another beautiful performance, where can people hear more about you and follow you, Zoe?
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, you can find me on I'm on Facebook and I'm on Instagram if you're Instagram savvy. But also on my website, which is zoebestal.co.uk. And if you would like to be part of my little team that that you know that you're directly supporting me, but also get to see behind the scenes of all the stuff I've been up to, and that is Team Bestal. So you can be part of the team, and you'll get a little badge.
Oh, I want a badge. I definitely want a badge. That sounds wonderful. So if you could treat us to your next track, I believe it's Grey Skies, which is perfect for the weather today.
Brilliant, thank you. Yeah. Funnily enough, it's quite sunny in this particular spot.
All right, it's
But
great where I
yeah.
am.
But this is
Zoe.
yeah. If you'd like to tune in to my live stream, you can do so tonight. It's on YouTube and Facebook, and you'll find that all from my social medias. Yeah, cool. So this is called Grey Skies. Thank you very much for having me. Oh, how graceful the mountains, chaos lost to the sea. A silent waterfall throws her heart against the wall when she tries to breathe. Oh, how freely the breeze flows, softly tempts the fall of leaves. In a day she slips away into a spiral of maze till the morning breaks. Oh, can't she see? Those grey skies look blue to me. Oh, how sweet is the bird song, fills the air with melody. Her soul has wandered far across a plain of folk too sparse to know the way. Oh, how calmly the clouds drift, bringing rage yet so serene. A storm has washed ashore, a wave of hope she'll ignore for golden, the sun sets, crimson rays between the trees. A frost is yet to thaw, till then she waits and dreams of more than fresh layers of snow. Oh, how peaceful the darkness, scattered stars cloaked in mystery. In the dead of night, oceans of black engulf the light when she can't sleep. Oh, how Percy those grey skies can be blue.
Thank you so much, Zoe. That was absolutely beautiful. I can't wait to hear you in person sometime very soon. And as you can see from the messages, everybody is applauding. Thank you so much for coming and taking your time out of your busy schedule to entertain us with your angelic voice. Thank you, Zoe.
So lovely. That's really kind. Thanks, everyone. That's really sweet.
Well, folks, now what I would like to do is go on to the next section of our circuit programme. I'd like to introduce our wonderful colleague, Programmes Manager Maggie Broadley. Maggie and I have been working together with the rest of the DG Unlimited team and trustees on Creatives Unlimited this year. So we thought we'd spend a few minutes telling you about what we've been up to this year and how things have been going. Welcome, Maggie.
Thanks very much, Tabby, and hello to everyone. If I wasn't already acutely aware that I am very much standing on the shoulders of a collective of giants working in the creative sector in this region before Kathy's wonderful discussion and talk, then I certainly am now. Everyone at DGU puts the creative practitioner at our heart. It runs through our organisation's DNA, and that is what we always hold very close in whatever we do and the approaches that we take. In terms of Creatives Unlimited, this will be a whistle-stop tour, and I would urge you, if you haven't already, to check out our website, www.dgunlimited.com. There is a Creatives Unlimited page there, and it gives more details. It's been all about collaboration between the DGU team, the board of directors, our members, partners groups, and other stakeholders. We've been acutely aware of these extraordinary circumstances. However, it's fair to say that none of us anticipated that this would ever happen when David pulled together the application and the programme, and then Tabby and I and the rest of the team worked on developing that more fully. We were about to launch basically just as COVID hit. So we have had a steep learning curve, but again, we've been acutely aware that we wanted to stay connected and to be here to offer support to our creative practitioners and the community at this very difficult time. So Creatives Unlimited has three key strands. It's growing leaders, which includes our Leaders Unlimited programme. We're very, very pleased and proud to have had funding from, as well as Creative Scotland, from the Hollywood Trust to include a youth, 3 young people to be involved in our programme, and they have been wonderful. In fact, the whole programme has been terrific. We've had our next level series of webinars. To see that they're professional development webinars undersells them. They are about bringing in a wide perspective of creative practitioners, people who are involved in the creative sector, both from within the region and out with, to help support. Our Growing Ambition programme includes our Bright Sparks, our ICC funding, and also Investment Ready. And this has all been about facilitating the creative practitioner to take risks or to continue to develop and explore new avenues of work, even during this time of pandemic. And then growing our visibility, which we've done up to date through a series of podcasts. I mean, just to quickly, we've had a total, we will have delivered by next week, a total of 10 webinars and for 7 podcasts in the next couple of weeks. So that's been a massive undertaking, but we have been delighted by the response and the support that we have had from everyone involved. I'd want to come back quickly to the Leaders programme. We have had huge coverage from GG Live, successful remote delivery. There's been mentoring involved in this. Each individual is important, but so too are those who work to connect and to explore ways of supporting each other and their own organisations. At this point, I'd like to hand over to Tabby, who can give you a few more insights into our podcasts.
Thank you, Maggie. Yeah, it was really just to say that the podcasts particularly were one of the new elements that weren't originally part of the plans, but as we as a team started to adjust our thinking and transfer the delivery of Creatives Unlimited to entirely remote, the idea of the podcast came about, and they have so far been very well received. They're called Voices Unlimited, and those plus the webinars, the panel discussions, and all the resources that we have created as part of Creatives Unlimited are on the website, as Maggie said, dgunlimited.com. I would strongly recommend that you all have a look and see. It's not just an indication of what we've been up to, it's actually a beautiful archive and record of how active, creative, and vibrant our creative community is in Dumfries and Galloway.
Thanks.
Maggie.
Reiterate that I have been, I knew about the Dumfries and Galloway's creative community before I came to work with DGU, but I am constantly not surprised, but just energised by what goes on in this region in terms of individuals and organisations. You're going to hear from some of our recipients of awards later on, but again, I'd just like to reinforce the fact that you creative practitioners and organisations are what matters to us. Helping, supporting you is what matters to us, and all of the team, our contact details are also on the website, can be contacted at any time, and we'd love to hear from you and how we can support you and continue to support you. I think it's exciting that we're going to be able to have this, once things return to closer to normal, we will have that face-to-face contact, but this blended digital delivering for our region and our rural region has been one very positive element that's come out, but it doesn't replace that person-to-person contact.
Thank you, Maggie. Now we'd like to share some of the creativity that we've been talking about and we've had the pleasure of working with all year with you. So Katie's going to play a short exhibition for us.
Sorry about that. I've had messages to say that it's not showing. I'm going to try again.
I can try if you like, Katie.
It was fine. Somebody private messaged me and that interrupted it. So if you just bear with me, hopefully it should go now.
Thank you, Katie. Okay, where are we now? That exhibition slideshow, I'm sorry that there were some issues with that. We will put it on the website at a later date and make sure that you can all have another chance to see it as well. So we'll upload that to you to the website. Now, our next performer, I am delighted to say, is Gillian Mellor. She lives near Moffat and co-owns the Moffat Bookshop. I'm sure many of you will have visited there. She's been published extensively online in numerous anthologies, and in 2019 she won the Bigger Science Festival writing competition. Today Gillian is going to read a few poems that she wrote as a result of her Professional Development Award from our Innovate, Create, Cultivate Fund. And I'm delighted to welcome you, Gillian. Thank you for joining us today.
Hi everybody, thanks for inviting me. Pleased to be reading you some poems from a series that I've written about the life and work of James Clerk Maxwell. I got an ICC award earlier this year, and these poems are part of the series that I've written since I got the award. So James Clerk Maxwell was a Scottish 19th century physicist and mathematician. He is said to be the bridging scientist between Isaac Newton in the 1600s and Albert Einstein in the 20th century. So this poem is called Newton, Maxwell, Einstein. Newton was rooted in the physical proof that Maxwell continued to model but discarded, to unravel nature with wild mathematics and theories so Einstein could stand on his shoulders. James Clerk Maxwell was born in Edinburgh, but he was raised in Galway, and until he was 8 years old, that's where he lived with his parents and family. His mother died when he was 8, and his father sent him to school in Edinburgh, hoping that he would follow in his own footsteps and proceed to do law. But when he realised his son preferred science and mathematics, he encouraged and helped him to further his work in those areas. And when he died in the 1850s, it was a big loss to James. there was a flurry of correspondence between them that survived, and you could see what close relationship they had. So this poem is called The Death of John Clerk Maxwell. The pendulum ceases to trace its arc. This loss cannot be drawn with a straight edge and compass. Its facets are too numerous to be counted. The geometry of grief exists in more than 3 dimensions, over incalculable lengths and through pointless functions. Daily letters become mementos, tangible reminders of past existence. But it's too soon for light relief. Primary colours spin to white. The Galloway hills and skies leach the colour, obscure the sun, hiding time, within curves through the lines of a poem. Another way for minds to fathom what's past, what's uncovered by symbols scrawled across a page. So after his father died, James worked on numerous projects. He discovered the structure of the rings of Saturn. He worked on colour blindness and colour vision with his new wife, Catherine. And to illustrate one of his lectures in the early 1860s, he managed to take the first durable colour image, and it was of a tartan ribbon. And if you've never seen it, you can find it on the internet. So this poem is called The Tartan Ribbon. You have always thought in colour, but how do you know that blue is blue? We only see what our eyes allow, sensing light for human needs. Wavelength decoded as colour, language interprets blue as blue. Could colours on a screen appear like the back of an eye, ribboned light, reflected, printed on glass, projected thrice through red, green and blue? A tartan ribbon becomes science legend. And one more poem, James's most famous piece of work that was developed over many years, and it was his theory of electromagnetism and the equations that he eventually produced to describe his theory. He started off with physical models and realized that nature was sometimes too complex to demonstrate in a model, so he had to turn to theories and maths, and his peers would say, look, these equations are all very well, but where's your model, where's your physical proof? And he would say, well, it's too complex, and obviously after his death he was proved to be right, but that's what you get for being ahead of your time. So this poem is about that period, summer Glenler 1861. Sometimes it was log tables he forgot to bring up from Cambridge, and had to perform all his calculations by hand. This time all summer with no reference books and a simple formula requiring data to confirm the speed of electromagnetic waves. Oh, to be back at King's College, books to hand, constants to input into brand new equations. Meantime, a delicious summer spent waiting to redefine light. Thank you.
Thank you, Gillian. Thank you for sharing your beautiful words and such important historical information as well, reinterpreted in a creative way. So thank you for sharing that with us. Now, I am delighted to introduce Stuart Macpherson. He is a musician, composer, a sonic artist. He's based in the fabulous village of Moniaive. His work has a strong focus on place and environment and how we all connect to it. Earlier this year, Stuart was a recipient of one of our Bright Sparks Awards, which also forms part of the Creatives Unlimited programme. Bright Sparks aims to support creative practitioners to take risks in pursuit of furthering their creative practice. A wonderful fund that allows creatives to take the risks that maybe other funds don't allow. Today, I'm delighted to say Stuart is going to share with us his thoughts on how the award helped him with his Bright Sparks idea. He'll play a film a slideshow, and then we'll hear from Stuart directly. If you'd like to cue up the film. Thank you, Katie. If you could start the slideshow now for Stuart.
Bear with me.
No problem at all. Beautiful images there.
Hello there, folks. Hope you can hear me all right there. Yep, thanks for watching that wee trailer there. I'm going to talk a wee bit about my Solway to Svalbard project and how receiving the DGU Bright Sparks Fund has helped support it. So I'll talk about the project first. Solway to Svalbard is a collaboration between myself, filmmaker Emma Dove, and sound recordist Pete Smith. It explores the different environments and communities that are encountered by the geese on their journey. This has involved a series of collaborative research residencies along the migration route, gathering field recordings, video footage, interviews, as well as compositions inspired by the journey. Other project activities included presentations and discussion events, pop-up performances and development residencies with National Theatre of Scotland. So that's where DGU Bright Sparks comes in. I think I've got a slight lag here, so I'll just carry on talking anyway. So last autumn we carried out a short residency at National Theatre of Scotland, working along director and dramaturg Davy Anderson to develop the narrative arc of the project and to explore the interaction between live performance aspects of the project and the audiovisual material. This was a really productive period of time, but we were only just scratching the surface, so we were delighted to be asked back early this year to continue our development alongside NTS with DGU support. I think the slides don't seem to be moving when they should be, so...
Katie, do you want me to try from my end?
Don't you just love Zoom? It's great.
You can try, Tabby. Obviously you don't have any controls when you're screen sharing, so... This is my end. I can stop sharing.
Yeah, okay. If you just give me a second, Stuart, sorry, just give me 1 second. I've got it ready here.
All running so beautifully smoothly and everything there.
It's typical, isn't it?
Oh yes, absolutely.
All right. Can I just check? Does everybody see that blank screen? Hold on. Let me just do it a different way. Apologies. Just give me 1 second. I will. Oh, wrong one. That's what it was. Give me 1 second, folks. Nearly started Maggie's presentation again.
I have it here. Tab it. Oh, yeah.
I've got it. There we go, Stuart.
Right, well, I think I've kind of talked through a lot. There we go. Okay, so we can go from there. Yeah, so last autumn we carried out a short residency at NTS, working alongside director and dramaturg Davy Anderson to develop the narrative arc of the project and to explore the interaction between live performance aspects of the project and the audiovisual material. This was a really productive period of time, but we were only scratching the surface, so we were delighted to be asked back early this year to continue our development alongside National Theatre of Scotland with DGU support. So DGU Bright Sparks helped us to effectively bolster the package that we were going to receive from NTS. This enabled us to increase the amount of time that we had there and bring in some extra elements that we wouldn't have normally been able to have got. So we got more time working with Davy Anderson. We really enjoyed working with Davy on our previous residency, and we were keen to build on that. It involved script writing, staging, exploring theatrical elements. This is all new territory for all of us, and definitely out of our comfort zones, but it's been really enjoyable and a valuable process. Davy was great at putting us at ease and managing to introduce these elements without ever feeling like they were being imposed on us. It's allowed us to experiment with different ways that we can present the work, and from a narrative point of view, it's really strengthened it. It also involved us being able to spend more time with NTS's technical team. This is brilliant because they've got so much experience working with complicated shows, and Zoe Svalbard definitely has the potential to be one of those with all these kind of technical elements like multi-screen, surround sound, theatrical performance and live musicians. So it was really exciting getting to try the work out with all these elements together for the first time, and a massive relief to realise that it all actually did indeed work. Live musicians, we got to work alongside Callum McIntyre on drums and percussion and James Ross on piano. There we go, they seem to be jumping slides all over the shop. Here we go, right, okay. So these photos are from NTS's Just Start Here, which is a festival for new works in progress. So for this we managed to bring in extra musicians. So we had James Ross on piano and Callum McIntyre on drums and percussion. This was brilliant, being able to hear the live music along with the visuals, and it allowed us to play about with the arrangements and tweak things that you can only really do when you've got actual musicians on hand. And from a personal point of view, I really enjoyed switching between the scripted elements and the musical performance, and I thought that brought a lot to the work, and again was something that was pretty new for me. I'm used to kind of hiding behind a double bass, so to get out on stage was quite scary but a good thing. So the next, probably the final thing I'll talk about here is just Yvonne Strain, who was our BSL interpreter. This was another new element for us that we previously hadn't considered, but it was really, really refreshing to work alongside her, and really enjoyed integrating her into the performance and what that added. It was great that she was like particularly enthusiastic to get stuck into, so that definitely helped. This is going to be something that we're really, really pleased to kind of carry on with and make the project more accessible going on into the future. So I hope that gives you a bit of an insight into how the project has been helped by DGU Bright Sparks Fund and how it's helped it grow. We're looking forward to moving forward with the project in the new year. So thank you for watching and listening.
Thank you, Stuart. That was really interesting. Some beautiful images there you shared with us. And we are really excited to see more of that project and hear more about how it's taking your practice on into different forms and different ways of presenting itself. So congratulations on the award and on such a fantastic job. Well done. It also looks beautiful where you were. All those images, it looks gorgeous, although a bit cold. So now in our programme, it gives me great pleasure for our final performance to introduce multi-award winning poet and performer and my pal, Stuart Paterson, based in Kirkbean. Everybody's pal really is our Stuart. His list of awards is really genuinely too long to mention, but we have to all applaud him on his most recent award when he was voted as Best Scots Writer of the Year at the recent Scots Language Awards. So well done, Stuart. Congratulations to you. We're also very proud of you. Today, Stuart's going to share a short film of himself performing 2 of his own original poems. The poems demonstrate what he believes is the close and sometimes seamless link between which exists between music and poetry. So take it away, Katie.
Hello, and thank you very much indeed to Dumfries and Galloway Unlimited for inviting me to take part in the circuit. My name is Stuart Paterson. I'm a poet, writer, live in Galloway by the Solway coast, and I'm going to read you a couple of poems today, perform a couple of poems even, which I hope demonstrate that the close link between 2 of the great art forms that exist and have always existed in my life, poetry and music. One's in English, one's in Scots. Recently, I was lucky enough to be voted Best Scots Writer of the Year at the Scots Language Awards, and that's run by Hands Up for Trad, a fantastic music organisation. So it was great to be involved with those guys who appreciate just how lyric and music can come together so well in any language. And the first poem is called The Heretic's Toast. I believe it's very important that whatever art form that you take part in, that you produce, speaks the truth and uses your voice to speak that truth. And sometimes we're seen as a wee bit rebellious, but I think it's an important thing to remember. So this poem is called The Heretic's Toast. I ken no what they mak o' me. Don, we would hae a hack at me, but even though there's a lack o' me, they haven't seen the back o' me. There's some would hae the crack wi' me, and some hae had their whack o' me, and all would hae their tack on me, but haven't seen the back o' me. A wheen would hae a shack o' me, and mair yet keech and cack on me, and few hae got the knack o' me, they'll always see the back o' me. But fears a dram will tack wi' me, and bannocks they will brack wi' me, and never scold or clag on me, they'll aye clap on the back o' me. Good friends and neighbours, raise your drink to crankums, clash and cramble clink. We'll dae what others only think, the unco gid, the drab per jink. Aye, lift your dram and he's it high, and he's and drink again for bye. Nae matter what they mak o' us, they'll never see the back o' us. Second poem could be spelled in 2 ways. It's called Ode To, and ode, of course, is a small poem, and it's an ode to this, and it's also ode to because I believe that we owe a lot in our lives to music. Music and songs and musical artists can mark periods of our lives and commemorate them in a way that very, very little else can do. So this is called Ode To. Others write the soundtracks of our lives, wake-ups for mornings, ballads for nights, pick-me-ups silencing doubts and frustration, quiet calling cards to self and to nation, standards to call all from every side, anthems to rally and harvest pride, gentle friends offering melodious shoulders, hot licks of love as the evenings grow colder. Feelings shaped words you yourself fail to find, Notes catching exactly those fragments of time, that moment, those hours, this incredible day, forever yours, with just the one command: play. Look back and wonder with tremulous hearts at what passed for classic that week in the charts that could have indelibly, memorably marked your coming together or breaking apart. That night of the first stumbling words and shy glance, it might have easily been Adam and the Ants, eternally earworming youthful romance, but you landed lucky and soulful with Moondance. When you walked hand in hand through woodland glades, the battery transistor you brought may have played 99 Red Balloons or the comeback from Slade. You landed funky, got Isaac Hayes. That long sleepless week down in Capsaloo isn't marred by Band-Aid or Agadoo, but the low, slow strains of Coltrane come to you when remembering balconies darkening to blue. When they left you alone and devastated, you dug up the seam of the underrated, the shared songs, the rare songs you both discovered together. That soundtrack exclusive to lovers. The ones meant for twos you'd now play alone and hope they may hear it, may visit, or phone, summoned by sirens, knowing you'd be wrong, that they're starting a new soundtrack, finding new songs. Others write the soundtracks to our lives, wake-ups for mornings, ballads for nights, but the playlist's all ours, unique, ongoing, from Joni to Janis to Mozart to Cohen, to Elvis to Stevie to Toots and to Woody, from Muddy to Buddy to Julie to Judy, to Beatles to Stones to Ravel to Vivaldi, to Baez to Dylan to Diamond to Marley. From beginning to middle to grudging end, we play and remake it again and again. Ode to its authors, ourselves, the lyrics of lives penned by somebody else. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you, Stuart. That was good. I like that one. I like them both. They were both good. Folks, thank you very much, all of our performers. So I would like to just go back and encourage you all in your wee rooms to give them all a wonderful round of applause to Zoe, and then Gillian, and of course Stuart Macpherson, and then Stuart Paterson. Thank you all for joining us. And now I would like to pass to our new chair to close the meeting. Stephen, you were, if you were in the room, which most of us were, you will have seen that Stephen was overwhelmingly adopted as our new chair of DG Unlimited. So I would like to welcome him as new captain of the ship and ask him to say a few words to bring today's event to a close. Stephen.
Hello again, everyone. I'm not going to say very much. My job, it seems today, is to, which is also my pleasure, I must say, is to thank people. Firstly, thank you, all those wonderful performers whom we have enjoyed this afternoon. Zoe, Gillian, and Stuart. It's brilliant and so great to see all the work as well. So I thank you all so much in these difficult times. I'd also like to thank the team, the DGU team, particularly for working through all these technical issues that we've experienced today, and making this a kind of important and pleasurable experience. So thanks to David, to Katie, to Tabby, and to Maggie. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank them for everything they've done this year, particularly taking the pandemic in their stride, moving the program online and creating, I think, probably the most successful program of work in DGU's history. And I'd like to finish by thanking all of you who have joined us this afternoon, and all our members, because no organization is stronger than its members. And the resilience, the creativity, the tenacity of artists in the region in the face of a kind of near total collapse in our ways of working and communicating. That has all been incredibly inspiring. So thank you. And next year, fingers crossed, we'll meet in the flesh. And until then, thanks again. Enjoy the festive season and please stay safe.
Thank you, folks. Thanks, everyone, for joining us.
Yes, thank you. It's been a delight.
Thank you very much.
Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you.
You too.
And many happy tales to you.
Thank you very much.
On yourself, folks. Cheers.
Cheers, Stuart. Nice one.
Stuart. Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Gillian.
Thanks, Gillian. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Bye.
Stephen.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye,
you.
bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, Zoe.
Thanks, Becky.
Right. So now what do we do?
Go and get a gin and tonic and lie down in the darkened room, possibly.
I think so. That was great. Thank you so much, everybody. That was just brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you all, and thank you, Kathy and Katie and Maggie and everybody. That was good.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't think the wee technical things were horrendous. It was just there was a few wee boxes in front of the screen.